Hello, hope you're having a wonderful day. My name is Dennis and welcome to my art channel. Today we're going to be doing a freeform watercolor painting, something straight from the heart, using some fun colors and maybe some fun brushes. Just my usual sort of thing, trying to express myself the best way I know how. A couple of brushes, a few pigments, cup of water, all I really need, plus a video camera just to keep it all engaged, right? And bring it to you, and hopefully share the art and share the process, share the goodness that is a bit of creation and a bit of idea realization. I've got a bit of a violet vibe going on, a lot of purples. I'm going straight in with a pre-mixed kind of violet, as well as my pre-mixed purple, dioxazine. Then I'm going in with some of the more primary kind of colors. This yellow here, I think I'll follow it up with a bit of blue. I think I'm working a bit in reverse. I've started by putting the darkest colors down rather than working from lightest to darkest, working darkest to lightest. I'm also adding a fair bit of water at this stage, getting the page super saturated, trying to get some interesting kind of effects of the water flows, trying to get the colors to mix directly on the paper, doing what we call the wet on wet technique. That said, when the color begins to dry but is still a bit wet, it's hard to see, but sometimes instead of leaving a color, the brush will be picking up the pigment that's on the page instead. So it's sort of an interplay between adding color and mixing what already exists on the page. It's an interesting interplay. I've got a few colors going on here, and I feel like it's making a bit of play between each of them. I've got like a purple zone, the yellow circle in the bottom right, some browns, some oranges and browns breaking up all these areas in between. I feel like I'm using these yellows to guide the brush all around the page. I feel like this central lighter kind of violet red central area might be turning into like the focus, and I'm trying to get some lines around it, make sure that there's something drawing in towards the page rather than drawing you out, because I want the focus to be towards the page here rather than away from it. Alright, in that regard, I've got a little bit of a webbing kind of patterning going on here. In and out, and a little bit all around. I feel like this is an interesting stage for the painting. There's still a fair bit of lightness all around, and it has a different sort of quality than what it'll end up being as I add more and more pigment to the paper. Probably a different meaning to the page at this point as well, but I need it to be a bit more colorful. Putting down a bit of yellow, following up with some blue, making a green of my own. Big splotch of yellow right there. and just sort of mixing it around, making some new colors, things that didn't exist before. They were just sitting unhampered on the palette. I feel like as part of the fun and painting is getting to mix these things together, and sometimes you expect the kind of color, but maybe layering it next to something else leads to an unexpected result. Although, I guess it's more expected with more experience and as time goes on. But alas, I feel like I'm still relatively new to watercolor painting. I've been in this medium for a few years, only been doing this really dedicated practice for about a year now, actually. But I feel like I still have so much to learn, so much to do, so many ways I still have yet to express myself. On that note, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, join me in my art journey. I feel like I'm trying to share the process of not only one painting here, but just my own wholehearted journey of becoming a full-fledged artist. I feel like I have it in my heart, but there are some steps that need to be taken in order to be able to really call it my career, right? But I am doing what I love right here, making some lines pierce across these colorful skies that I've painted. I feel like I'm breaking something up here with the lines that I'm making, and sometimes the outcome might be not exactly what I intended, but I live with it, and I feel like I'm happy overall with at least how the energy that I'm putting into it. I don't care so much for the results, but that's just me personally. I feel like the more important thing is having a good process and something sustainable that I'm able to come back to every week, every day, every hour, eventually, and be able to live with it and enjoy it still. I feel like with this longer kind of brush, you're making the finest of lines, still using a mix of my core two colors, the colors I used in my wash, violet and a bit of ochre. Or was it sepia? Probably sepia. I always mix up that color. I feel like it's like a meme for me at this point. I always forget that color when I'm on video. Once I hit that record button, the colors on the palette just out the window for me. A little bit of pressure making me forget, but that's fine. I don't need to know all the colors. You get the gist of it. I feel like there's a bit of a shaded kind of color here, and we're adding a bit of texture with this brush. It's not just a bit of lines, but you can see, especially as it zooms out, that those spots kind of sit next to these areas that have been more graduated water bleeding out across the page, and I like that kind of interplay that it's got both sides. Bit of contrast. One side's one way and the other is another. Yep. I feel like I'm trying to get a bit of, not a bit of, I just always want some variety in the painting. Even now I'm putting down some ultra thin lines, some fine brush strokes right in that one spot and probably nowhere else. Just to give it a kind of a unique area right there. Just felt like the painting needed it. Why? I don't know. It just felt right. Without further ado though, here's some close-ups. You can really see how that interplay of the smaller strokes and some of the water lines go with some of the larger areas of color. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed the process. Please let me know in the comments down below what you think of the painting, if there's anything that you see within it, if there's like a bit of representation hidden in there. I'm always curious what you've seen and what you think. Leave a like if you liked the video, and I hope to see you here again next week. Have a lovely weekend. Take care. Peace.